Do I have Monique on the line with me?
Hi, Karen. It's Monique.
Hi, I'm the County Fairgrounds lady, and I want to talk to you about your 4th Avenue Street Fair Winter Festival. How long has the 4th Avenue Street Fair been going on?
So this is our 50th biennial winter fair. We do 2 shows a year. So it's our 50th anniversary of our winter, but it's technically our 99th show. In the spring, we'll have our 100th show.
I don't think you've been an event coordinator all that time, have you?
I haven't, but I'm privileged enough to be the 3rd event director in our history. So we tend to be around for a little while, for sure. So we've had 3 event directors in our 50-year history.
This is a pretty big street fair. How many vendors do you have, and what's your approximate attendance?
So we have over 400 artisans and partners come in for the show. It is a juried art show, so the artists all apply. So there's over 300 artisans in with 9 different mediums or disciplines. We have 3 different food court areas with over 50 food vendors that are coming in from all over and everything you can possibly imagine and then some. We have 2 stages that are programmed from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day, as well as we have our buskers and our entertainers. So we have our buskers that are our street performers. So it could be street musicians, or it could be folks who do face painting and a henna tattoo just as a balloon animals, whatever that might be. So those are our buskers. So there's over 400 folks participating in the show itself.
Right. This is one of the biggest fairs in the state of Arizona. Do you have any idea what your approximate attendance is?
Sure. Yeah, we get our numbers both from Homeland Security and our local police department. So we have seen over the last several years over 300,000 guests over the 3-day period.
Okay, with that many people coming to that location, and by the way, what is the location?
Sure. So we're on historic 4th Avenue. So we're in the heart of Tucson. We closed down literally the historic business district. The fair itself is on 4th Avenue between 8th Street and University, as well as then out to 5th Avenue and 3rd Avenue. So not only do you get all of the folks that are coming in for the fair itself, but you can also come and visit our over 140 local merchants that are on the historic district.
And where do these people park? I would think it would be a problem.
Sure. So we do a couple of things to try to make it a little easier for our guests coming in. Folks can park at Pennington Garage, which is downtown, or at Tyndall Garage, which is over at Main Gate on the University of Arizona campus, and we run a free shuttle from both Tyndall Garage and Pennington Garage. So that certainly helps to alleviate the pain of trying to find parking. So you can park at one of the garages and hop on our free shuttle. The streetcar runs from the south end of its normal route, so people could park down at like Mercado and then hop on the streetcar, and they'd get off at 9th and then just have a block to come down into the south end of the show. So there's definitely parking options that, you can ride the streetcar in, you can park at one of the garages and ride the free shuttle just to help alleviate the stress of trying to find parking in the midst of a major closure.
Okay, and this fair is also known for a lot of its street performers. Do you want to talk about those a little bit?
Sure. We have about 45 different buskers and entertainers. So, it's folks that, we've got amazing, face painters, henna and tattoo, single instrument street performers. There's a young man named Dustin who the last several shows, I saw him playing as one of our buskers and entertainers on the side of the street, and I said, "You need to be up on the stage." I said, so he transitioned from playing as one of our street performers, and now he plays 2 days on one of our stages. So there's definitely a wide variety of folks, and again, it's another way to entertain, keep the kids entertained. Who doesn't love a balloon animal? But like I said, we also have the programming of the stages themselves in the 2 stages, and those are all local and regional performers as well. And something new that I added this show is what I'm calling the Community Minute. We already support 16 nonprofits throughout the fair itself in different capacities, where nonprofits support us by providing volunteers, and then in turn we make a donation after the fair back to their organizations, because it is such a big show and we need a lot of help. But we can't support them all. There's so many great local nonprofits. So what I did is it's called the Community Minute, and it's an opportunity for when bands are switching on the stages that nonprofits have been programmed in, so they can come in and sort of deliver their 2-minute elevator speech about who they are and share a little bit and be able to help answer questions after the fact. We know that our food courts are very busy. People love watching entertainment, so just another chance to maybe help support some nonprofits, even though we don't necessarily have a space for them, but we could still give them a platform for a couple minutes to share, at least with the crowd that's around them, a little bit about who they are and what they do.
Do you actually, I interview a lot of entertainers across the country, and they like going happy places and they like large crowds. So do you actually solicit for entertainers?
We do. We actually open it up. Any of our artists, musicians, they will, in essence, apply. They reach out to us. If there's somebody really particular that we're interested in, we'll go after, but 95% of the artists are actually contacting us. They send in some videos or different music links to what they do, and then we have a small jury that also reviews that and brings them in. And we wanted to try to do a mix of local and regional, and then sometimes we know entertainers might be passing through, or they're playing other gigs somewhere in the area, and so some of that networking happens there as well.
Okay. All right. So where are these stages exactly located?
Sure. So we have the 7th Street stage, which is on 7th. It's on the east side of 7th Street off of 4th. That's also closest to the largest of the food court areas. And then our 2nd stage is on 5th Street, also just off of 4th Avenue. So 4th Avenue and 5th, and 4th Avenue and 7th are where the 2 stages are.
And what hours do you have performances?
10 to 5.
Okay. All right. One of the questions that always comes to mind, too, when you have that many people is, what do you have for restroom facilities?
Sure. So yeah, it's always a fun question. So we have in every quadrant, our show is broken up by blocks. So from the 200 block to the 700 block. The show itself runs down the historic 4th Avenue district. It runs, the vast majority of it is north-south, within on the side streets and stages and food courts. So we have got, we've got facilities, we've got porties pretty much at every major intersection. They sit just off to the east or the west. We have also made sure we're accommodating ADA. As well as with our recycling and waste partners, we've purchased actually larger size ADA porties as well, because there's some newer ones in that are even where folks that might be in a wheelchair can actually keep the chair inside with them. So we have 120 different porties throughout, and as well as hand washing stations. Anywhere out in the perimeters, our captains can also always help direct folks, but behind our food court areas, and then again, anywhere north and south, east and west, we got them.
The businesses on 4th Avenue, for people who haven't been there, you want to talk a little bit about some of those?
Absolutely. So 4th Avenue is, we are registered as a historic business district. We're excited. We have 140 local, very unique merchants and businesses on the avenue. And what's exciting to us for Street Fair is it's an opportunity for folks to either discover or rediscover these amazing local businesses. Restaurants, bars, retail, and then we have several of our merchants that will actually also have a booth in the show. But we have a little bit of everything. So it's a great opportunity for folks who maybe aren't familiar with some of our merchants to get to see really what they have to offer. 100% of our businesses are local as well. So we're very, very proud of that. As well as out of 140 businesses, over 60 of them are female-owned. So we're proud of that too. So we're a historic business district that's got, really modern restaurants, but we also have some of the oldest restaurants in town. Caruso's is one of the oldest restaurants in Tucson. Fine and some of the most delicious Italian food you're going to ever eat. We also have the Shanty Bar, which is one of the oldest liquor licenses in town. So you have this mix of kind of seasoned and a little bit new. So, the merchants are excited to welcome the guests down to our avenue. We're excited to welcome guests down, and we think it's an opportunity, like I said, for people to discover the avenue as well as everything that we have at the street fair, or go, oh my gosh, I haven't been down here so long, I forgot that this was here. And, even if they don't stop at one of the stores or businesses while they're here for street fair, we hear so many times from our merchants, I was here during street fair and I wanted to come back in. And so that's exciting for our business as well.
With that many people, do you have a, how do I put this, a trash problem? I mean, that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. But the program we have in place, and it goes back to working with, we work with our local roller derby community. It's called Tucson Roller Derby, and they are a nonprofit. So what Roller Derby does, we call them our labor team. They come out. We have them organized in different areas of the fair, and they're out here from prior to show to the end of show. So their objective is to help keep the fair as picked up and clean as possible. And then, we're obviously taking care of any of that stuff and then getting it out with our waste and recycling partners at the end of the show. So we have it's a lot to manage, but we certainly, the way we've got the fair divided up into sections, and the folks that we know we need in each section really helps to stay on top of that. And like I said, the Tucson Roller Derby, we've worked with them now 6 shows, so it's been a great partnership where they can come out and support the community by volunteering, and then we in turn can help support their club by a donation that we make back to them at the end of the show for their support.
Okay, with that many vendors, first let's ask you, do you have any particular craft vendors that people shouldn't miss this year?
Oh my God, that's a hard one. They're all great. I'm going to say, we've got so many different disciplines. I think that David Lozao from California is certainly, he is a painter. I think he paints live while he's at his booth, which I think is really impressive for folks to be able to see somebody actually live painting. So David's in booth 419-421. We have Kevin Sobrowski, which is he's a sculpture artist from Utah. And I think he's just got some really cool pieces as well. Nicholas Ivins also will be doing live painting at his booth. So, I think there's something for everybody at this show, which is something I really love and appreciate about our show. So I don't want anybody to miss anybody. I want our artists to have a great show, and I want our guests to have to make hard decisions because there's so many great choices. And I think that's the reality, because what happens is if you come in and you say, okay, I have a $20 budget or I have a $20,000 budget, there is something here for you. And we see that all the time. We see folks who, are looking for that one unique thing, but they have, there's so many different price points, and yet we see people come in and buy jewelry or some very high-end sculpture art that is in, the high thousands, and somebody who's looking for maybe just that stocking stuffer, and things, everything in between. I think there's such a variety, and that's what's so exciting is, like I said, there is literally something for everybody at this show.
What about food vendors? What's your favorite food vendor? What particularly what do you like?
Well, thankfully I get to walk it all off. My gosh. I certainly I think we have some of the best barbecue. We've got Blue Banjo and Barbecue for You. I'm always going to be a diehard barbecue person because, man, it takes somebody special to really be able to pull off either a good tri-tip or brisket. And we're lucky. Like I said, Blue Banjo, April with Blue Banjo and Bill with Barbecue for You are both phenomenal. Craig Sawyer and Piggly Wiggly, who brings in, a real big setup and can give you just every type of meat you can imagine. We've got Indian, we've got, Mexican. There's just something for everybody. I'm not going to lie. I love kettle corn. That's not really a staple, but that's my favorite after, when I'm here 20 hours a day, man, a bag of kettle corn at night. But, like I said, I think there's all kinds of food, and the nice thing is eat something that you wouldn't eat normally and then walk it off, right? That's the great thing about, you can eat maybe a little bit of a heavy lunch, and then you have plenty of time to walk it off. The other thing is we have 6 beer booths. All of our non-beer booths are also us partnering with nonprofits. We are very fortunate because of our layout and our systems that we have in place. Folks can open carry a beer from one of our beer booths within the perimeter of our show. So it's nice. So you can, grab a beer, which is in turn helping to support a nonprofit, shop and walk, and then end up on one of our food courts. And again, if that's something that you choose, then that's a great way. We also have a nonprofit that's supporting us with our water stations. So again, there's just different ways. But yeah, food-wise, I'm a huge barbecue fan.
Sounds good to me.
Right? The best part is early in the morning when they start cooking, and they start early. The barbecue folks start real early in the morning. Man, that smell, that smoky smell in the morning, it's undeniable. Okay,
one question from the vendor standpoint: is there good security at night?
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a security 24 hours is a huge priority for us. So, security overnight, we have officers that are here from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Overnight throughout the entire fair. They are also on radio communications, and they are strategically stationed on opposite sides of each section. And there's over 24 officers here for overnight security. We obviously encourage our artisans and our food vendors to lock up shop at night, close up your tents, take things out if need be. Some artists choose to leave their booths open because they take everything out. Okay. But, like I said, close them up. We also do, as we're closing down at the end of each night, we do a security walkthrough. And if I see, because sometimes too, artists have had a long day and they're trying to, get out and get back to the hotel. They forget to, zip down their booth, or they didn't bring enough siding. And I'll make an assessment that, hey, I want to add an extra sidewall to this. So myself and my security lead, we will do that. And then I always reach out to our artists and say, hey, Karen, I wanted to let you know, we went ahead and closed up your booth, or I went ahead and added an extra, sidewall to your tent because I didn't think it was closed up enough. So we also won't do anything that I don't let our artists know about, because I think that's important as well. But yeah, our close down each night, after the artists are out, and I do my first walkthrough with my security lead as we take a look and check in on all the tents and make sure we feel that they're secure as well.
I don't suppose you've seen Santa Claus lately.
I don't know if I've seen daylight lately.
I mean, you're a Christmas street fair.
We are. Well, we're a winter street fair. You never know who will show up for sure. Like I said, we're welcoming to all. And yeah, you never know who might show up at any given time.
Okay, Monique, I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and I'll get this posted for our listeners, and hopefully people will listen to it before they go to the street fair, because there's a lot of information you gave us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you want to do it again in spring, we have another one in March.
When is it?
The spring is March 20th through the 22nd of 2020, which is hard to believe. So the 20th through the 22nd.
Okay, and when is the cutoff date for the vendors to apply?
The artist is already closed.
Okay.
Yeah, jury's already closed. So that part's done, but food vendors have until January 24th to apply.
And what about entertainers?
They have until the end of February to apply, I believe.
I have some. I'll send you.
Awesome. All right. Karen, thank you so much. And if there's anything else, please don't hesitate. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.